hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real my eyes can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real weapons being real to sell. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. Being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's wrong. You don't like money so much, why he doesn't go to work? Everybody does it about one of the things that we think I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. Cortez.
Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. Guys, if you're on Facebook, I apologize. I've already rebooted and restarted the stream twice. It says my signal is weak. So if you want to jump over to YouTube, Financial Health Mentor channel on YouTube to check out the live stream there, you certainly are welcome to do that. But by all means, go ahead and share the stream on your wall and on your timeline. We're just going to stick with the stream, and hopefully the signal will strengthen up here and we'll be fine here. And then if you're on YouTube, do me the same favor. Go ahead and grab the stream here, the link, and share it on your favorite social media timeline, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to share your links and stuff, man. Share the link. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel on YouTube, then hit the subscribe button, and then leave me a comment if you like the show, if the show comes through clearly, if you like the content. I like to try to dialogue, and then if you got questions, then leave a question in the comment on YouTube, and then we'll carry that question over till Friday, where we do our live Q&A on Fridays. So in case you stumbled upon this show on accident, I'd like to tell you exactly who this show is for. This show is for the risers and grinders this morning. If you woke up this morning and you're ready to get up, get out, and get something because you know your legacy is at stake, this show, my friend, is for you. If you are the type of person that has a desire to build wealth, you have the discipline to build wealth, but maybe you lack a game plan, a mentor, maybe you need some tools, some strategies, some tips, this show, my friend, is for you. If you know the power of building intergenerational wealth and you're laying the foundation for your children, and you've decided that you're going to leave a mark on this world and not just a stain, this show, my friend, is for you. Now, on the other hand, who is this show not for, right? Guys, if you're sitting back waiting on Donald Trump to fix the economy, this show ain't for you. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's a businessman, so America is a business, then he's going to get this ship on the right track. If you're waiting on that, this ain't your show, man. I can promise you that. If you're the type of person that has that weird relationship with money, where you think money is evil, you think capitalism is a dirty word, this show ain't for you, man. Because when you have that kind of relationship with money, I can promise you this, you will always repel money away from you. And if that's you and that's what you want to do, this ain't your show, because the people who listen to this show will attract money to them, will attract prosperity, success to them. So if that's not you, then you can tune out right now, and we won't hold you any blame for that, because this show literally is not for you. And as I tell you each and every morning, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, I want you to take a screenshot. I want you to remember that I said it. I want you to hold me to that. And then watch me work over the next 5 to 10 years and see exactly how this happens, right? See exactly. Now, here's the thing. You can sit on the sideline and you can cheer for me or cheer against me. Don't make me know, never mind. But I strongly encourage you to get in the game with me. There's not a single billionaire on this planet who has not helped others become billionaires, others become mega millionaires, others become decamillionaires, millionaires, six-figure households. Just think about all the billionaires you know, and you think about all the people in their wake who are also extremely wealthy. So you can sit on the sidelines and cheer, or you can get in the game with me. Today, we're talking about the 4 ways to acquire wealth in this country. There's only 4, guys. There's only 4 ways to acquire wealth in this country, and we're going to get into each and every one of them in a little bit of detail, but I want to focus on a couple of them that we as Black people definitely ought to be involved in 24/7, 365. What are the 4 ways? Number 1 way, and most of you guys are probably familiar with this way, but you can buy wealth in America. Right? How do you buy wealth in America? Buying wealth is through investments, right? You can buy pieces of companies a little bit at a time. If you were an early investor with Microsoft, or you are an early investor with Zuckerberg and Facebook, you know, a few $1,000s could have turned into a few million. So that's how you can buy wealth. And there's nothing wrong with buying wealth. Then we are in America, so you can also steal wealth, right? Come on now, let's talk about it. You can steal wealth, right? This entire country was stolen, so you can steal wealth. This country and other developed nations across the world are stealing wealth from Africa as I'm speaking right now. So you can definitely steal wealth. Now, we're not going to talk a whole lot about stealing wealth, but you have to understand that wealth can be stolen. So you have to be careful as you're building your wealth, and understand that people will be looking to steal that wealth from you, right? You think about a lot of the entertainers who are these great musicians who put out this great music, and it was the labels that made all of the money from it, and these musicians died broke, right? That is their wealth being stolen. Who had the wealth of creativity? Not the labels, the musicians, but they didn't understand that wealth could be stolen in this country, and a lot of their wealth were stolen. Think about all of the inventions that Black people invented during the slave days and immediately after slavery and the Renaissance period and all that kind of stuff. Man, all of those inventions were stolen. The patents were found under somebody else's name, and that wealth was stolen. So we're talking about the ability to acquire wealth. One way is to buy it. Another way is to steal it. Now, when I say steal it, I'm not focusing on you going out to steal wealth. I want you to focus on, as you're acquiring your wealth, to understand that it can be stolen. So you put in the proper mechanisms to protect your wealth, right? So those are 2. You can buy it, you can steal it. Number 3 is you can inherit it, right? A lot of wealth in this country is transferred from one generation to the next. You were just born in the right family. The money was already there. All you got to do is grow up, and you're gonna be wealthy, right? It's just gonna be passed down through your hands, to your hands, and to another. So one way that working class people should be thinking about transferring wealth or leaving an inheritance to your children, or if you're not in the position to receive an inheritance, do not be bitter about that. See, I know a lot of people who, because their parents aren't leaving them an inheritance, they're saying that, hell, I had to work for every dime that I get, so my kids gonna have to work for every dime they get. I ain't leaving them nothing, right? That's the wrong attitude, man. I don't understand. I know if you guys understand what this thing is really about, guys. There is a race going on right now for world domination. And every ethnic group is in this race but us. Every single one of them. There's a race going on right now around the world for world domination. Every nation, every ethnic group, every country is in that race except for us. And part of the reasons we can't get in the race is because we keep forcing generation after generation after generation to start from 0. And in a lot of cases, they're starting from less than 0 because parents are dying, leaving their children in debt. So don't be bitter if your parents didn't leave an inheritance for you. Somebody has to make the sacrifice, and you start the trend and leave an inheritance for your children. One of the ways that you can do that is through insurance instruments. guys, get yourself some insurance, man. Get yourself a $500,000 policy. It might cost you $75 a month. Pay that $75 a month, man. That's nothing, right? Get yourself some insurance so that if the event happens that you have an untimely death, then you can leave your children an inheritance. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. You don't want to just leave them resources. You want to make sure that they have financial literacy. You want to make sure that they know what to do with money. So in the event that you have to depart from this earth sooner than you thought, you're not going to leave them money that they're going to fight over, they're going to bicker over, they're going to squander. You want to leave them an inheritance, but you also want to leave them the financial acumen to properly deal with that inheritance so that they can grow it, because the whole point of you leaving this inheritance is so that they can build wealth and create greater legacy for yourself. What's a good insurance company? If you go back to one of my early episodes, Francine, I think it was episode 8, 9, or 10. I had a Corey Beal on. It's a good brother, sells insurance through American Financial, I believe. I had another young lady on a couple weeks after that who also sells insurance through Liberty Mutual. So I had a couple guests on the show that are good and can help you understand those insurance instruments. But you got to make the sacrifice, guys. The reason we don't leave that inheritance because we got commitment issues. We've got commitment issues. So when someone puts a policy in front of us and talks about us paying $30 a month for 30 years, it's like, whoa. We see that as a problem. We see that as a problem, right? Because of our commitment issues, but don't see it as a problem, man. See it, and in fact, when we did the interview with Corey, what was so cool, he talked about his in-laws, right? His wife's parents died. Now, Corey is a young man. His wife's parents died early, and who had to foot the bill for the funeral? They did, right? And across town, a young man that he worked with, mom died. She didn't even have a job. She was a stay-at-home mom. She died and had the wherewithal to have an insurance policy and left her son $700,000. So here's the situation we're putting our children in. Corey's parents, his in-law died, and he had to pay for the funeral. His friend's mom died and got a $700,000 windfall of an inheritance to build wealth with. So we have got to start looking at, if we're in a position where if we're not in a position to receive an inheritance because of what our parents did, don't be bitter about that and say, well, shoot, I ain't leaving nothing to my children. Break the cycle. Do something different. Get yourself some insurance, guys. And then the fourth way that you can build wealth in this country, or you can acquire wealth in this country, is through building wealth, right? Now, I would say that, you know, most of the wealth in this country, when you're talking about old money, a lot of that old money was stolen. And I don't feel no kind of way about saying it. It's just how things happen and how you did things back in those days. A lot of those, the Rockefellers and the J.P. Morgan Chases and the Rothschilds and all of these people, they created some circumstances where it's not that they strong on robbed somebody and took the wealth. They created circumstances, they manipulated markets and things of that nature where they were able to acquire wealth and assets, pennies on a dollar. So pretty much like stealing wealth. Right? It's pretty much. So there may not be a direct way to trace the stolen wealth to them and things of that nature, but a lot of that old money, man, a lot of that old money is blood money, right? But you look at a lot of the new money and you think to yourself, how was a lot of the new wealth created? A lot of the new wealth was built. Think about somebody like Bob Johnson, right? Original founder of BET. It cost him $15,000 to acquire the license for a cable channel called BET. In 25 years, he turned that $15,000 to $1 billion. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? See, you can buy wealth, you can steal wealth, you can inherit wealth, but you can also build it from scratch. Bob Johnson took a $15,000 investment and in 25 years turned it to $1 billion. Guys, I want you to understand that one of the best and most efficient ways to build wealth or to acquire wealth is to build it yourself. Use your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your intellect, your creativity, and you can build wealth the same way Bob Johnson took $15,000 and turned it into $1 billion. You can do the same thing. Maybe you don't turn it into $1 billion. Maybe you just turn it into 500 million, right? Use your gifts and talents to build wealth. Oprah built her wealth. It wasn't inherited. It was built, right? Zuckerberg built wealth. It wasn't inherited, right? You think about Bill Gates built his wealth. It wasn't inherited. In fact, the story of Bill Gates says Bill Gates has a partner named Paul Allen. Paul Allen had the money. Bill Gates did not. Bill Gates stumbled upon the DOS operating system. The person he stumbled upon, he made him an offer to buy it for $50,000, $50,000 that he did not have. So here's how imagination comes in. Here's where creativity comes in. He knew what the DOS operating system could be, but he didn't have the money to buy it. He sold Paul Allen shares in a Microsoft company that did not even exist to get the $50,000 to buy the DOS operating system. And then once he bought the DOS operating system, he leased it out. He licensed it over and over and over and over again. Now the man is a billionaire. We all know the story of what his wealth is really like right now. But you're talking about building wealth from scratch. He did not have the initial $50,000 to buy the operating system that is the foundation of Microsoft. But he had the wherewithal. He knew that he could build wealth. He had the vision. So he partnered with Paul Allen and said, man, I'm going to sell you a percentage of this company. What company? The company that I'm going to create, right? Because the company Microsoft didn't exist. So he had to sell him on a company that didn't even exist. And then here's what happened with Paul Allen. Paul Allen was not a billionaire. He had the $50,000, but he wasn't a billionaire then. He had a little change, but he took a $50,000 investment, owned a portion of Microsoft, and now Paul Allen is worth billions. Right? So Paul Allen bought wealth in that situation because he made an investment of $50,000 that turned into billions. Right? Bill Gates, on the other hand, built the wealth because he took the $50,000 from Paul Allen and he turned it into 80 billion, 100 billion, or whatever he's worth these days. So if you're sleeping on the fact that you can build wealth through the building of a business of your own, then you have, right, he sold him a concept, right? He said, you know what? And he sold it with so much passion that Paul Allen said, all right, I got you. Yeah, I'm sold. And he jumped on board. So same way with Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg invited a bunch of people to his dorm room to talk about Facebook. Only 2 people showed up. Those people, 2 people did invest, and those 2 people are worth billions right now. Billions, right? Sometimes we invite people to take a look at an opportunity and they blow us off because they're trying to buy wealth. And here's what poor working class people, a lot of black people, here's their idea of buying wealth. Lottery tickets, the boat, the casino, bingo, right? That's their idea of buying wealth. But you tell those same people that, you know what, you can take some of that money that you're going on a boat with. You normally go and spend $400-500 on the boat every week. All right, instead of spending $400 or $500, you're going to spend $200 on the boat, and you're going to spend $200 in the stock market, or invest $200 in the stock market. Those same people will look at you like you're crazy, and you say, I ain't losing my money over there. I don't know nothing about that stock market, man. What if I lose my money? Jigger, you going on the boat, losing your money every cotton picking week with no chance of real winnings. But you can't tell people that. So they understand that they can buy wealth. They're just trying to buy wealth through the least possible successful ways. Period. So you got to understand the risk and reward scenario when it comes to buying wealth. But guys, the reason that I am in business, the reason that I'm building my wealth, I'm doing two things. I'm building my wealth through a business. Then I got my life insurance squared away so that my children can leave, and I can leave an inheritance for my children. But building a business also leaves an inheritance to your children. See, some of you guys make really good money on your job. Some of you guys make really, really good money on your job. And it's my hope that you're taking some of that money and you're investing in at least a 401k. Hopefully you got a separate IRA on the outside of that. Hopefully you're just building your wealth. Some of you guys are doing that. But here's the thing about making the money on the job. You can't will your job to your children, right? You cannot will your job to your children. So I'm building an inheritance through insurance instruments, right? So that's one way that I'm going to leave them a few dollars. But I'm also building a business that's going to be willed and left behind to them as well. Right. And here's what's funny. I've heard my sons mock me because a lot of times when I'm doing the show, not now because they're in school, but before, when in the summertime, they would, I would wake them up because I'm I'm a little bit loud with the show, and I've heard my sons mock me. And Dad, I hear you on the phone all the time. I can do what you do. And they go into my spiel, and I'm like, wow. Just because they're around, they're picking up the entrepreneur spirit. They're picking up what I do. So then we start having a conversation. Well, why do you think I phrased a question like that? And I said, oh. So now I'm teaching them the basics of what I do and the art of selling and things of that nature. But I've literally heard my sons mock me, and I can bring one of my sons in here and have them give you about 75% of one of my presentations just because they've been around and just because they hear it all the time. About 75% of my presentation they could probably give you right now, and they'll probably try to sound a lot like me, and it's funny. But I just kind of snuck in on it like that. Yeah. You talking about so tell me what you like most about what you saw, and they got into this whole thing, and I'm like, wow. So that's the other reason that I love building wealth. The three things that I like about building a business. Number one is the children. Right? If you're not showing your children something different, what's going to cause them to be in a different place from now? Got a new job, but I'm still in. Okay, that's what's up, Washington. Whenever you're ready, bro, I'm here, man. I'm here. So the children, if you're not showing them something different, then what's going to cause them to have something different when they get to your age? Number two is everybody needs extra income. you should have a business on the side in conjunction with your job. A business on the side in conjunction with your job, right? Because again, you can't will your job to your children. And even if your business isn't making a whole lot of money, you never know. That influx of youthful vigor might be what you need to take it to the next level. So you leave that business to the children. They might pick it up and bang, take it to a whole nother level. You left them something, right? And then the third reason you should have a business, because one of the core causes of poverty in this country is taxes. Now, I'm not a basher of Uncle Sam and the tax system. I love the tax system, right? You guys who are working a job only, you're just using the wrong tax system. See, there's two tax systems in this country. There's one for employees and there's one for business owners and investors. If you're using the one for employees, that's the one that you probably hate, because that's the one that's taking a third of your paycheck off the top and you think you can't do anything about it. You're just using the wrong tax system. So I would hate that one too, right? I would hate that one too. But when you look at the one that's built for and by business owners, and you understand all of the loopholes that are there, they call them loopholes. It's not a loophole. It's written in the doggone code, right? It's written in the law. You can use these tax codes, these tax advantages to build your business, and you pay virtually no taxes. So most of you guys are just using the wrong tax code. And that's why you hate it. The one that I use, I love it, because I literally get to write off about 70% of my lifestyle, right? I talk about this on the show all the time, and people are up at arms when Donald Trump said in the debate that not paying taxes makes him smart. Well, yeah, not paying taxes makes him smart. And the first thing that the common people or the working class people start saying, well, shoot, you're skipping out on the government. It's because you're not paying taxes that we don't have schools and roads and all of that stuff. Well, let me clear that up for you. Let me clear that up for you. Donald Trump and his enterprises hires about 100,000 people worldwide. About 100, not worldwide, about 100,000 people in the States, and all his hotels and casinos and all that stuff. He's employing a lot of people. So because he employs so many people, the employees that he employs, they're paying his share of taxes because they're giving the government a third of their paycheck. They're giving the government a third of their paychecks every year. That's why he doesn't have to pay taxes, because he created a situation where 100,000 people can give the government 33% of their paycheck. And the government said, because you create a situation where 100,000 people are now giving us a third of their paycheck, we're going to let you not pay taxes, and that's legal for you to do, because you brought all of these people to the table who are giving us a third of their paycheck. So when people say that he's not paying taxes, he himself is not paying taxes, but he's put himself in position where he's offered to the government a sacrifice of 100,000 people that will pay a third of their paycheck in taxes. Because of that sacrifice, he himself personally don't have to pay a lot in taxes. Well, here's the kicker, guys. When you're building wealth from scratch through a business, you can do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. See, Donald Trump is a brand, and everywhere he goes, he's promoting his brand. As a brand, that's a business. So if I go out to eat and I'm promoting the Donald Trump brand, then that meal that I'm having is tax deductible, right? When I jump on a private jet that I own, because it helps me promote my brand as this wealthy billionaire aristocrat, then that plane that I purchased to help me promote my brand is 100% tax deductible. You guys got to understand that. The Financial Health Mentor is a brand. So everywhere I go, I'm promoting my brand. So a lot of the things that I spend money on is tax deductible because it's growing and developing my brand. If you're not building, then you're using the wrong tax code, and that tax code will eat you alive. The reason working class people struggle is because taxes, inflation, and then when you're overtaxed and your money becomes worth less and less year over year, then you end up borrowing. So then debt becomes a problem. So taxes, inflation, debt becomes a problem. Now you're trying to live off about a third of the money that you make, and now you're trying to shop, you're trying to vacation, you're trying to put the kids in sports and activities, all of that with a third of the money that you actually make. That's why you're struggling financially. If you refuse to start a business, you're literally going to die owing somebody, and you're gonna die being overtaxed. Get yourself in business. We're talking about the 4 ways that you can acquire wealth in this country. You can buy it, you can steal it, you can build it, or you can inherit it. If you build it through a business, now you're putting your children in position to not only have an inheritance in some sort of insurance instrument, because if you're building a business, you want to have insurance on your life, on your business, and things of that nature, but you're also putting them in position to inherit a business. And then you're building wealth through the business. The other reason that I like the building aspect is because I can control the input. I can control the input into my business. Here's why this is important. Because if you cannot control the input, then you cannot control the output. If you cannot control the input, you cannot control the output. Right? So when you go to your job, are you really controlling the input? No, because your employer can tell you, don't come in today. Company is losing money, so we're gonna lay you off for 2 weeks. Are you controlling the input? No. So when you can't control the input, you can't control the output. I control the input that goes into my business every day, so I can dictate the output. And if I want more of an output, then I'll simply just increase the input. Scale up, do more, right? Does the t-shirts with logos on it count as promoting my brand? Could that be a tax write-off? Of course, of course. And then get you some business cards, so wherever you go, you pass out your business cards promoting your brand. And if you sit down and have a meal, that meal is tax deductible because you're out promoting your brand. Exactly. So that's one reason. Exactly, Clarissa. I control the input into my business, right? So therefore, I control the output. And whenever I want that output to increase, I increase the input, right? More and more. I scale that thing up. That's what, and that's why entrepreneurship to me is the truest expression of creativity. It's the truest expression of freedom, because I'm free to fail just like I'm free to succeed. And it's all based on my efforts. That's why it's so powerful, guys. So you can buy wealth, you can steal wealth, you can inherit wealth, or you can build wealth. I think, in my humble opinion, the 2 things that every working class person should be doing is find the money to pay for an insurance policy. Sit down with an insurance agent in your area and tell them, hey, I got $30 a month that I'm going to put to the side faithfully, and I'm going to pay for some insurance. So if something happens to me, my house is paid for my kids' college is paid for, and then they'll have money to pay for any expenses. And I'm talking about burn me up and put me in the urn for $200, because you don't need to spend $15,000 on a funeral. To me, take that $15,000 and invest it and make more money instead of spending that on a home going for me, right? Wow, free to fail or free to succeed, all based on my efforts. I'm free. That's what free enterprise is. I'm free to fail or I'm free to succeed. It's it's up to me, right? Do you have that freedom on your job? You don't, right? Because no matter how hard you work, If the CEO of that company is running that company in the ground, you're going to lose your job eventually. And that's not in your control. What is in my control is that I get my butt up and do these videos every morning because I'm promoting my brand. I'm teaching. I'm building content that's going to be eventually packaged so that it can build upon my legacy, upon my brand. And I'm steady building and increasing my brand because I put the effort in. And that's the very reason that some people shy away from entrepreneurship, because they know that they're also free to fail and free to succeed, but they're not willing to put in the work. So they feel failure is inevitable, right? That was one reason that I had to let my job go, because my job was holding me back from putting maximum effort in my business. So I got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm just going to step out here on faith. And I'm just going to do me 100% of the time. And so far, so good. So far, so good. So let's do a quick Q&A. You got some questions on these 4 types of ways to build wealth. If you don't have an insurance policy, man, get yourself insured up. Even if you can't afford the $500,000 policy, spend $15-20 a month and get you a $150,000 policy. Get you something. Get you something. Start somewhere, right? If you want to start a business in the financial education space, that's what I do. Go to financialhealthmentor.com or inbox me. Or you can call me, 314-874-6887. I will put you in a business in your own financial education franchise where I will not only teach you these strategies to apply in your life, but then you will learn them well enough that you can teach them to others. And every time you refer someone to our financial success membership, you can earn $25, $50, or $500 commissions over and over and over again. So I can show you how to do that, right? I will give you all of the branding and marketing education that you need because some of you guys, when it comes to a referral-based business, don't want to talk to friends and family. That's cool. I will teach you how to do that. I will teach you how to brand, and you don't have to get in front of a camera and do a show like mine, but I'll teach you some simple things that you can do to build your business, right? So I will teach you how to build your financial education franchise so that you can earn business income. Then I will teach you tax minimization strategies, how to use our proprietary software to keep records of all of your tax write-offs and everything that you need so that you can minimize your taxes, because all of that money that you save by minimizing your taxes, we're then going to help you take that money and learn how to properly invest it so you can fatten up your retirement portfolio. So if you want a business in the financial education space, then let's connect. If you already have a business and you say, you know what, I don't have the branding and the marketing piece. Well, guess what? Get my financial success membership and I'll give you the branding and marketing piece for free. And you can use that piece to brand your existing business, right? And then you still get the tax minimization strategies, because most self-employed people, most small business owners don't understand the tax code well enough to take full advantage of it from a wealth building perspective. And we want you to take full advantage of it to build wealth for you and your family. I don't want you to just have a couple write-offs so you write a smaller check to Uncle Sam. No, I want you to save as much of your hard-earned money as you possibly can so that you can do the right things with it so that it will grow for you and start building that legacy that you can pass down to your children. So you can text me or call me at 314-874-6887. Or you can shoot me an inbox if you got questions, or if you just want to kind of go through my funnel on your own, go to financialhealthmentor.com, put in your best email address and phone number, and it will take you to our video presentation, and you can just study that stuff at your leisure. If it makes sense to you, you can get back with me. If not, no big deal, because my mission is to help 1,000 families by June of 2017. I want 1,000 families in my financial success membership on their way to building wealth. Right now, I'm at about 220, 200, something like that. So I'm a long way from 1,000, but if you want to be in that number and you want me to help you build wealth, then go to financialhealthmentor.com, call me at 314-874-6887, or shoot me an inbox and I'll get you some additional information. Let's do a quick Q&A, guys. Questions on those 4 ways of building or acquiring wealth. Connect, connect, connect. Don't hesitate. I use these strategies and created $1 million in cash flow increase. Yep. Clarissa has been down with the team for a long time, man. And when she talks about a $1 million, that's not funny, that's not fluff. That's taking the money that she used to pay to Uncle Sam, taking the money that she used to pay to the banks, getting that money back, getting herself out of debt, then using that money to build a strong investment portfolio, and then teaching others these wealth building principles and strategies and earning those commissions over and over and over and over and over again, man. A beautiful, beautiful soul. So if she shared this on her page and you want to connect with her, you're certainly welcome to do that, but just get plugged in with somebody that's going to teach you our income shifting strategies. If you saw it on my page, then you can plug into me. If she shared it and you saw it on her page, you can definitely plug in with her because she knows this stuff inside and out, forwards and backwards. So she can definitely help you get to that next level. So any questions, guys? I thought we wanted let's do some questions. Let's do some Q&A, man, before we get out of here. I know we started late because I couldn't get my connection on, and it's been saying connection weak the whole time, but it hadn't jumped off. So questions on wealth building principles, strategies, branding, marketing, anything. I know I usually say a quick Q&A for Fridays, but if you got it, let's do a quick 5-minute Q&A if you got any questions. So if you look at the billionaires from the last 25, 30, 35 years, they got that way through building businesses. They didn't acquire, they didn't inherit that wealth. They didn't, well, I can't say they didn't steal it. I don't know. You know, I saw social media. So some would suggest that Zuckerberg stole the idea of Facebook, so that could be stolen wealth. What types of insurance? I try to get a little bit of everything: term, hold, and then I'm looking into some insurance for my business, particularly. So yes, I would try to sit down with someone, assess your needs. A lot of times they talk about your insurance based on the age of your children and things of that nature. But yes, if you're looking for insurance, then get all your needs assessed and tell them what your aspirations are. So I've got young children, so I had to have a certain amount because my youngest is 15, and I got one that's 17. Or soon to be 17. So I wanted to make sure that if something happens to me before I'm ready, that at least they have the house is paid for, college tuition is paid for, and burial expenses and all that kind of stuff. What are some techniques on how to avoid wealth being stolen from us? Well, the patent game is one. So if you got ideas that can be copywritten, can be patented, logos and things that could be trademarked, then you definitely want to go that route. Not 100% foolproof, because we know that people got patents stolen from them as well. But that's a good place to start. And then, you know, let's see, insurance on your business, insurance on yourself, things of that nature. Definitely, so that if something happens in your business, because that's one way that sometimes your business can be stolen is if you're not properly insured and bonded and things of that nature, and someone has an accident on your business property or your equipment, then they sue you and then you lose your business. So definitely make sure that you're looking to get insurance to insure your businesses. You know, and even your partners. So if you got business partners, make sure that they're insured as well. Because if you're in a partnership with someone and that partner goes down, that might affect the business negatively. So you want to make sure that that they have them. But I would be looking at all of those things, man, just to make sure. Yeah, certainly, Clarice, certainly. I'll be doing all of those things, man, to make sure that your wealth isn't stolen. And then every time you get your hands on some money, I would definitely diversify my portfolio, not in a single asset class. When people talk about diversification, a lot of times they talk about putting all of your money in the stock market, then splitting that money into various areas within the stock market. Well, all of it is still in the stock market, right? So you diversify your wealth across different asset classes. So you have some invested in different assets. So stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or that's a good place. You invest some of your money in precious metals. You invest some of your money in real estate. You invest some money in collectibles. You invest some of your money in traditional businesses. So you're invested against asset classes, not in one particular asset. See, I can have all of my money in precious metals. Some gold. It's still all in precious metals, so it's not really diversified. But against asset classes, that's another way that you can protect yourself, buffer yourself against things being stolen. Trust, or another way that you can protect a lot of your assets. I'm not a guru on trust, but limited family trust and things of that nature are other ways that you can protect your assets, because one, nobody ever knows who actually owns them. So there's some trust that you can get yourselves in, where if you were sued personally, that person could never acquire or gain any of your assets because you don't own any. They're owned by a trust. And that's how wealthy people protect their assets as well. Where do you begin right now? I have been cleaning my credit, and they're on. And I started my own business. So if you already have your business, Kenneth, you might look at my financial success membership for the branding and marketing piece, so that I can help you build a solid brand, get your online presence together, your website, fan page, YouTube channel. So putting a marketing plan together for you so that you can bring more attention to your business, so that you can better position yourself to start growing that business, right? If you have not started a business and you kind of got an idea, then we can talk offline about some things. So I do a free 30-minute consultation. So if you want to give me a call at 314-874-6887 when we're done here, we can talk about some of your business ideas. You can let me know if the financial success membership is right for you, if that is your business, or if you want the branding and the marketing piece of that, so that I can help you build your brand bigger and better, attract people to you, so you can create a stream of leads and clientele, so you can make sales, all that kind of stuff. We can definitely get together on that. Cool. I love the engagement, man. I love the interaction. So anything else on any other questions? We got a couple more minutes. We'll go to 8:30. So if anybody else got any questions on the 4 ways to acquire wealth, you can buy it, build it, steal it, or inherit it. Don't be one of those people, man, say, shoot, my parents ain't leave me nothing, so I ain't leaving my kids nothing. We've got to stop putting our kids in a position where they have to keep building from scratch, man. Right? Think about it this way, man. Our children have to build from scratch. Other cultures, when their kids graduate college, walk into a house that's free and clear. Walk into a situation where they didn't have to acquire college loans, so there's no student loan debt. Walk into a situation where parents buy no car. So the 3 biggest expenses out of the gate are wiped away. So not only do you start life in ahead, but you also don't have to pay for those 3 biggest expenses for the first 10, 12, 15 years of your adult life. So imagine where you would be if you walked out of college and you didn't have any college debt. You walked out of college and into your own place, free and clear home. You walked out of college into your own car with no car note. Those are the 3 biggest expenses that you have as a young adult: college loans, house payment, car payment. You walk into your new job using your college degree to get your job at $30,000 a year. You can practically invest a full $30,000 a year because you don't have the 3 expenses. You pay light mortgage, light bill, gas bill, put gas in your car that you don't have a car note to. Now you start the game with being able to invest $1,000, $2,000 every single month. That's the position we have to start putting our children in. But we can't put our children in that position if we refuse to make some tough sacrifices. Only reason we can't build wealth with all of the talent, all of the gifts, all of the special abilities that we have collectively as a people, the reason we can't build wealth is because nobody's willing to make tough sacrifices. Point blank, period. Period. Because you're not going to tell me that we're not talented enough. You're not going to tell me we're not intelligent enough. You're not telling me we're not gifted enough. You're not telling me we don't have the desire. We don't have the work ethic. All of that's baloney, man. Comes down to one word: sacrifice. Are you willing to make the tough sacrifices to put the next generation in a better position? See, I've already decided that, hey, if I don't get to drive the Bentley, or if I don't get to be chauffeured in the Bentley, I can certainly make sure that my children do, based on my sacrifice, right? So that's it, guys. It's 8:29, 8:30. So that's it, man. Sacrifice, Miguel. Sacrifice, my friend. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. I've been enjoying your videos, bro. Keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. That's one way to get the word out about what you're doing and how you're doing it, man. Keep them coming, man. I love video marketing, man. That's one of my deals. If you don't already have a YouTube channel, go ahead and set your YouTube channel up too, so that everything that you stream on Facebook, then you go ahead and put that on your YouTube channel, because a lot of people still they're diametrically opposed. Either they're Facebook for life or they're YouTube for life. So some people on Facebook don't deal with YouTube. Some people on YouTube don't deal with Facebook. So by having a YouTube channel, that also gives you a one more added advantage. And that's because on Facebook, you have no search capability. On YouTube, there is a search capability. So on YouTube, they might be searching night bike rides in New Orleans, and you want your videos to come up so they can see how you guys do your night bike rides, and all of your contact information is in the description of your videos. So yes, you definitely want to have that as a major component of what you're doing. So guys, I'm H. Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. I didn't even tell you who today's show sponsor was. It's Young Biz Kids, man. I sit on the board of an organization that teaches entrepreneurship to children. Says question: how can I set up a YouTube channel connected to Facebook? None of my YouTube channels are connected to Facebook, but I have a Facebook fan page, which is Financial Health Mentor, and I have a YouTube channel, which is also Financial Health Mentor. So I keep my branding the same across multiple platforms, so that when someone sees me, my picture is the same that it is on Facebook. It is on So as people see me from one side to the other, see some consistency in the branding, so that they know that it is the same. I don't know if you, I mean, you can, Facebook fan page, Facebook gives you the ability to put a website in. So if they click on learn more, it will take them to your website. If you wanted that to be the URL to your YouTube channel, then they click on learn more and it goes directly to a YouTube channel. You can do it that way. But I just keep them separate, because my connections to any websites that I have go to a capture page, because I'm always trying to capture email address and name to get the leads. That makes sense? But if you keep your pictures and your imaging and your colors and that kind of stuff connected and you know, across both of the platforms, so that people, when they go from Facebook to YouTube, they see the same profile picture. They know it's me. Of course, I do a lot of videos, so they know it's one video on Facebook, on YouTube. So that's how I would take your Facebook email and page on Facebook URL and put it in the field for your and wants to get more information and go straight. Trying to help mentor to the working class show. I wanted to get you. You can do it.